Hi guys, this is a short review on thiazide diuretics. Coming to the introduction, these thiazide diuretics are the most commonly used drugs for hypertension. Among the diuretics, these are the medium ceiling diuretics. So, if we plot a graph taking the dosage of diuretic on x-axis and percentage of diuresis on y-axis, we will get a rapid flattening dose effective curve in case of the thiazide diuretics, where it is a linear curve in case of the high ceiling diuretics like loop diuretics. Thiazide drugs are the sulfonamide derivatives consisting of one benzene ring, one sulfur atom and two sets of double bonds to the oxygen atoms. All thiazide diuretics, the main site of action is the distal convoluted tubule of nephron. These thiazide diuretics are the moderate efficacy diuretics because more than 90% of the sodium and chloride ions are already reabsorbed in the PCT of the nephron, used for the treatment of mild to moderate edemas. Under thiazide diuretics, we have drugs like chlorothiazide, hydrochlorothiazide, bendroflumethiazide and methiclothiazide. Under thiazide like diuretics, we have drugs like chlorthalidone, metolazone and indapamide. All these drugs are used for the treatment of hypertension. This chlorthalidone is recently approved for the treatment of the hypoparathyroidism. This metolazone, when given with furosemide, it enhances the action of the furosemide. Mechanism of action of thiazide diuretics. As we discussed, DCT is the most common site. This yellow colored one is the epithelial cell consisting of Na plus Cl minus importer on the anterolateral side and Na plus K plus ATPase pump and chloride channel on the basolateral side. This Na plus and Cl minus, which are present in the luminal fluid, moves from lumen into the cell through this Na plus Cl minus importer, and from there Na plus K plus ATPase pump moves the sodium from cell into the interstitium and there it reabsorbed into the blood. In similar way, this chloride ion, which is present in the lumen through this Na plus Cl minus importer, moves into the cell and from there it reaches the interstitium through this chloride channel and there it also reabsorbed into the blood. If you give a thiazide diuretics, it moves into the DCT and there it blocks the Na plus Cl minus importer, which results in the reabsorption of sodium and chloride ions, and these sodium and chloride ions are lost in the urine. These sodium and chloride ions, which are the major contributor of the osmolarity, they eventually take water along with them. So, this is how the thiazide diuretic works. Mechanism of action: inhibit the reabsorption of the sodium and chloride ion in the distal convoluted tubule, which results in water retention, and these diuretics also decreases calcium content of urine by promoting reabsorption of calcium. Clinical uses of thiazide diuretics: used in case of hypertension and reduces the cardiovascular events like congestive heart failure in hypertensive patients, in case of mild to moderate edemas, in case of nephrogenic diabetes insipidus, but the mechanism by which it produces the paradoxic antidiuretic effect is still unclear. Reduces the risk of calcium oxalate stones because it enhances the reabsorption of the calcium from the stones, and also it reduces the calcium phosphorus supersaturation because it enhances the reabsorption of calcium used in case of the osteoporosis. These thiazide diuretics are associated with high mineral bone densities and reduces the risk of fractures. We can easily remember the clinical uses with the mnemonic chicken, C for congestive heart failure, H for hypertension, I for insipidus, C for calcium oxalate stones and E for edema. In calcium oxalate stones, we have O here. Remember this O as osteoporosis. Thiazide diuretics adverse effects. First one is a hyperglycemia. Because of inhibition of the insulin release, this may precipitate the diabetes mellitus. Hyperuricemia, because of inhibition of the urate excretion. Hyperlipidemia, which results in increase of LDL levels and this may precipitate stroke conditions. Hypercalcemia, and more calcium is reabsorbed into the blood. Hypochloremic alkalosis, because of excess chloride waste, and in conditions like hyponatremia, hypokalemia, hypomagnesemia. Adverse effects we can easily remember with the mnemonic: hyperglucose, hyper is increased, G for glycemia, L for lipidemia, U for uricemia, C for calcemia, and S for sexual dysfunction. High doses of thiazide diuretics, the main adverse effect is the sexual dysfunction. And other mnemonic: hypomong, hypo is decreased, M for magnesemia, O for chloremic alkalosis. In chloremic alkalosis we have double O here, so remember this O as chloremic alkalosis. N for natremia and K for kalemia. Drug interactions of thiazide diuretics. This thiazide diuretics reduces the effect of oral anticoagulants like apixaban, dabigatran, sulfonylureas like tolbutamide and insulin. Enhances the effect of diazoxide, digoxin, lithium, loop diuretics and vitamin D. Probenecid, which is used in case of gout conditions, blocks the action of thiazides. Quinidine induced Torsades D pointers, usually self-limiting, may be converted into the life-threatening ventricular fibrillation due to hypokalemia produced by thiazides. And these thiazides increases the toxicity of lithium. Precautions and contraindications. Thiazides are chemically sulfonamides and shows cross reactivity. So contraindicated in patients allergic to the sulfonamides. And contraindications include severe renal impairment, severe hepatic impairment, Addison's disease. In Addison's disease, hyponatremia is the most adverse symptom. So if you give thiazide diuretics to the Addison's patient, there will be a more loss of sodium ions from the body. And contraindicated in hypersensitivity. And lastly, pregnancy and lactation.